All right, what is up, guys? Megamind, Mega Time. We are here at Dream Creative Space in Marietta, Georgia, with none other than Josh. What's up, bro? How are you?
Doing great, brother. How are you?
Good to have you on, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.
So, Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. People that don't know you, you know, introduce yourself, but also from the standpoint of people that are from Atlanta, you probably do know him. He's pretty popular out in the scene in the nightlife. I know you've done a lot of different stuff in your career as far as like partnering up on marketing ventures with, specific companies, and then also maybe on the tech side that people may not know so much about you. And then you're a hell of a networker. You know everybody for anything. But yeah, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, bro.
Appreciate the introduction, man, and your time. I'm super simple, man. I'm from Decatur, Georgia, born and raised, traveled all over the country, done a lot of different businesses. Been blessed to have a lot of amazing mentors, so much support, throughout my life and throughout my journey. First and foremost, I'm a dad, period. Got 6 kids, 8 grandkids, and that's my driving force every day.
8 grandkids, for real?
8 grandkids, yeah.
Wow. So you said 6 kids?
6 kids, 8 grandkids.
Wow. So how old were you when you had your first?
18.
18. How old are you now?
45.
45.
Well, 35, but.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Wow. So I guess that would make your oldest what? How old?
26.
Wow. I'm 27.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. You're old enough to be my pops. Whoa.
Whoa. I'm 35, bro. 35, bro. 35 to the public.
That's crazy that I just said that out loud. No, so Josh,
fucking up my whole night, bro.
let me ask you, bro. Let me ask you. What would you say to yourself
My bad, sorry.
at 26 years old? What would you say to your 26-year-old self, knowing what you know now?
Ooh. Man. I would say something that I heard the other day, and you look at life, and not in a shallow way. This is just the easiest way for me to explain it. Kind of look at life as tickets. The average male lives to be 75 to 80 years old. Anything above that is a blessing. So what I would say to yourself, my 26-year-old self, is that every day you live, that's another ticket that's gone off that reel. So make every day count. One of the things that one of my biggest mentors told me is that life is always great. Even on your worst day, even on your best day, even on your in-between day, and all that in between, life is always great. So I would say to my 26-year-old self, hey, bro, life is great. Because it took a lot of lessons in life and all types of things I had to go through in order for me to realize that every day I wake up is a blessing. And I know it sounds cliche as hell. It sounds cliche, sorry. It sounds cliche to say every day is a blessing, but it truly is. So I would say as that, man, forget materialistic things, forget money. You're going to win, you're going to lose, you're going to get knocked down. As long as you get up every day, yeah. That's the biggest thing I would tell myself.
It's a dub. It's a dub when you wake up. You won already, right? What are some of the struggles that you had to endure during this time? Like, what are some of the things that you did have to go through?
Of course, being a dad at a young age, trying to balance work with, being a father, I would say was probably the biggest challenge and failure in my life because, I was all about the grind. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily about my kids. And now that I'm older and I have younger kids, it's a little bit different. So I would just say, man, being able to, regardless whether you're single, you're a dad, this, that, and the third, is balance. You never want to be too high. You never want to be too low. If you know how to master the middle, no matter what's happening in your life, you're going to find a way to make it through it. But once you live on this high all the time and then you live on this low all the time is when it's hard to function, regardless of what your adversities are.
Yeah, so I think one of the basic principles of just masculinity or just manhood is being stoic, right? So being in a calm state, not letting your emotions or your frequencies get imbalanced by, the highs, the excitements,
That's the measure of a man.
right? Or the lows of failures, but more so just remaining in that calm state of, hey, I gotta get through this regardless. So no, that's fire, bro. What are some things that you see different? I guess back when you were coming up in the scene, specifically, like in the nightlife, that are different now from when you first got into the nightlife. Like, what are the biggest differences?
Okay, so I'll tell you the funny part and the business part.
Okay.
The funny part is we used to could go out and have the time of our life for $500 to $1,000. We can't even get in the door anymore for $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
So let's just start there.
That's
We used to go
crazy.
back, I could go way back in all types of situations. I would say that a value for bang for your buck is probably one of the biggest differences.
But also too, the economy was, I guess, essentially better back then, anyways.
It wasn't really that, bro. It wasn't really that, honestly, at all, man. That I feel like happens in every country, every city. The biggest thing that changed is that, me being born and raised from here, Atlanta is a city where people come to hide. You can't hide in LA. You can't hide in New York.
Yeah.
You can't hide in Miami. You ain't got it. You ain't got it.
Yeah.
You can't hide in Vegas.
Yeah.
You can come to Atlanta and get you a little nice Benz with some rims, you know what I'm saying? Eat some nice restaurants, and you're that dude. It's not flying everywhere else. So Atlanta, is always kind of, a little bit behind the curve. But at the same time, I am excited to see a lot of the big industries that are moving here, which are bringing very intelligent people to our city. And it's changing the culture of us being known as the South, because we were the only city that was open besides Florida in the country for a long time. And a lot of people that work remotely, that work in technology, that did all these different things, they were like, I want to go where I can work.
Yeah.
I want to go where I can party,
Well-
and I think that's a huge thing about the city that's changed.
So one thing I want to touch on that we're on this topic, one thing I noticed just with all the craziness that's going on in the world, and a lot of times, people look at the South as like, the ugly stepchild, I guess you could say, of America. But in times of crisis, when it boils down to like, having to, I guess, survive and just whatever meaning you want to take on the word survive, but we know how to hunt, we know how to fish, how to get together, congregate, work as a team, be outdoors, right? We have morals, like just early principles. Not to say that other states don't have the same, but I just feel like just growing up in the environment of you're in the mountains, but you're also you also have access to a big city, which is also a huge gateway for a bunch of shit to get here, because we have the largest airport. So it's like, but the citizens of the South, ultimately is what kind of keeps everything intact.
What's crazy about that, what I would tell you, man, owning businesses for over 25 years in multiple parts of the state of Georgia and other states and cities, is that Atlanta truly is a melting pot, bro. There are definitely certain sections of every state, every country where, things are one way or the other. But out of all the states that I've traveled in, out of all the places that I've been, I will say Atlanta is one of, not the only, but one of the top cities I've ever experienced that you will literally walk a block by block by block and meet somebody from somewhere different.
So not a lot of people actually from Atlanta.
No.
Yeah. Where are you from?
It's
Where are you
tattooed on
from?
my wrist from. I'm from Decatur, Georgia. When I tell
Okay.
people I'm from Decatur, they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, well, I guess, because
Yeah.
nobody's from here, and that's a huge thing. Again, like I said, during the time when most of the country was shut down, we were open.
Yeah.
A lot of people from a lot of places was like, I can get an acre for what? And my taxes are what?
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. So we have a lot of people, man, that stayed, that really changed the like when you asked me about the old Atlanta versus the new Atlanta. There's a whole different, culture and a whole different movement that's going on in Atlanta that has never, ever, ever happened here in my 25 years of doing business. Because people normally, traditionally, are from here. That's who you do business with. I've known you for 10 years. I've known you for 20 years. Whoop-de-woo. And now all of a sudden we got these people that are coming like, bro, I ain't never seen you before.
Yeah.
But you own this. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk.
What's going on?
That doesn't happen down here, bro. In the South, it's like, if I hadn't known you and I can't check out for you, and you, I don't know. But, we have seen between the movie industry with the tax credits and all the stuff that's happened, bringing production, to Atlanta from, us being, an open state, it has really changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years from, what I've grown up in.
So it's crazy because it almost feels like they're trying to artificially create maybe another like New York City, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think that that's gonna ever happen, because the only difference that's happened is that, man, I'm about to say some crazy stuff.
Yeah, say it.
So I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like, when I grew up, there was the craziest spots. Bankhead Courts, Bowen Homes. I'm not gonna go down the list of them all, because I believe that people that talk about the past, they live in the past.
Yeah.
So even though I grew up in that era, there was a big injustice that has been done to this city, man, where, they have literally taken, the money and the infrastructure away from the city and pushed it to the suburbs. I'm not trying to get here and talk about crime and this,
No,
that.
but
But
identify.
at the end of the day, man,
Identify suburbs, because I feel like a lot of times when people hear that, they don't think of the right thing. So I want you to keep talking on
if you're not in Fulton County, you live in the suburbs.
Okay.
Period. You can be from Cobb County. I'm from Decatur. That's DeKalb County. If you're not in Fulton County, you live in the suburbs.
Okay.
That's the city.
Okay.
That's what we consider the city.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody else.
No. I think it's important to.
But basically,
to
at the end of
understand
the day, like I said, man, when the Olympics came, they tore down a lot of the projects. They, got rid of a lot of things. They dispersed a lot of people. And it just, it's sad, man, because it's so easy to fix because we all get along. And that's what I love and I hate about this city. I love this city because we do kind of get to do what we want to do. And we're a party city. We are a content creating city. We're a music city. We're a movie city, and now we're becoming a technology city.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the future, man, but at the same time, we've got to do a lot more, man, to clean up our city, man, because we deserve so much more, man. Like, we are an awesome city. We really are.
Where do you think we start though? Like, do you think it starts with, I guess you could say the suburbs?
I think it starts with us all getting along.
Well,
That's
yeah,
it.
but that's cliche. But I'm saying, like, if you were really to do you go, okay, there's too much bribing going on in the legal system, or is it like more so, hey, the people, like, hey, older people, y'all need to wake up and get more with the new wave, or is it more like new wave, y'all need to slow down?
I think it's a balance of both. I think if you look at, other countries, there's, elected officials that make the decisions, but there's elder parties that give advice. And I think that you have to have both. History has a tendency to repeat itself, period. So, you have to have, the OG, the old school advice,
Yeah.
with the new school and the new way of implementing things to make them happen at a 2025 level. And I think
Yeah.
that's the bridge we have to gap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think right now we're early even being here in this creative space here at Dream, because now we have podcasts and platforms like this one to be able to share, the stuff that you just shared, and give people a different, point of view, a different insight, rather than, something that has just been kind of programmed into their mind as they've gone along. Also, guys like Joe Rogan, all these different platforms that are now being able to be a voice. I don't see why Dream Creative Space, going into World Cup 2026, why we couldn't be
Yeah.
a voice, right, for
No, I mean, this
for
has
the city.
been, I'm glad that you call it Dream, because, we'll have some more segments on this later, but, there's a gentleman that's a part of this that, we began this journey 20 years ago,
Yeah.
you know, really 25 plus years ago. But as men, it takes 5 years for you to figure out what you're doing in any industry that you're doing it. So I consider for the last 20 years, man, this has been something that everything has come together at the right time when everybody was ready and learned their life lessons. And also, man, there's a huge culture, change in what's going on here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, Josh, thank you so much, bro. Guys, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to Megamax. Megamax, your brand at Dream Creative Space. Let's go.